They're not everybody's cup of tea, but love them or loathe them, hundreds of thousands of wheelie bins are about to be unleashed on the streets of Birmingham. Although many parts of the region have been using them for years, wheeled bins have been late arriving in the second city.
The cost is around £30 million and part of the aim is to recycle more rubbish. But not everyone is happy about the change, as our reporter Bob Huckenhull in Birmingham city centre can tell us. Bob.
Yes, indeed. This is one of the bins. Thousands of them will be appearing on the streets of Harborne and Brandwood in the city. Not all residents are happy, as you say. Some of them say that they're unsightly and difficult to manoeuvre around tightly packed terrace streets. But the City Council is adamant that they'll become a familiar sight in the next 3 years. The suburb of Bearwood is just outside the Birmingham city boundary, so residents here are already used to wheelie bins. They've been used by neighbouring Sandwell Council for years.
I'd rather have them, and I think my mother would rather have them, definitely.
Environmentally they're better. They also stop scavengers.
Next to Bearwood is Harborne in Birmingham. Street collections look very different. Black bags are still used, but the City Council says they're vulnerable to vermin, so wheelie bins are on the way. The first wheelie bins will be wheeled out in Birmingham from next month in the Brandwood and Harborne areas. Just over 16,000 homes in the two suburbs will be getting them. A further 945 properties will be exempt, but some householders feel they should be too.
I couldn't get a wheelie bin round there. I'd have a job, if they're heavy, to even get one off the front.
Many residents on the Moorpool estate, a conservation area in Harborne, prefer black bags. They say wheelie bins are unsightly and too cumbersome.
To bring it round, you have to bring it sort of down this narrow passageway that goes behind the gardens, and then you have to take it all the way up the gardens as well. And at the top, the bushes are all overgrown, and I would probably struggle doing it. If someone was older than me, they wouldn't have a chance.
Birmingham City Council is so anxious to convince detractors, it's released a series of images showing satisfied residents from neighbouring areas beaming over their wheelie bins. The council says it's been proven they encourage householders to recycle more.
In a way, it's investing to save, because as time goes on and the more rubbish is thrown away, it's actually going to cost us more and more. So if we can act now to take waste and turn it into a resource by doing more recycling, it's going to be much better in the long run.
So the hope is the bins will put the lid on Birmingham's soaring waste management costs.
Bob, we heard some residents in your report there saying they're going to struggle to manoeuvre the bins round their properties, yet the council still insists on going ahead with these plans.
That's right, Nick. The council says that it's analysed every property that will get these bins, and it agrees with residents that perhaps a few of them aren't suitable, perhaps because they've got steps up to them, and the council's making those properties exempt. It also says that perhaps where there's cases where there are disabled people or very elderly people, that they will provide some assistance in moving them around.
And it's costing, what, £30 million? It seems an awful lot of money at a time when the council's trying to make savings.
It does, but the council has been given this money specifically by the government. It's not coming out of the council tax budget or the annual budget, so the council says that residents needn't worry on that score. It also says that in the long term it will actually save money because residents will recycle more and that will be less costly for the council. And it is worth noting that Birmingham City Council is one of the worst areas in the country for recycling. Only about 31.5% of waste is recycled at the moment.
Bob, thank you.
Now, you've been contacting us since lunchtime with your thoughts on this, and Helen Summerhays says, I can't believe rubbish is left on the pavements to be collected. Birmingham is behind the times.
Jeff Paddock got in touch. He reckons they're too big, ugly, inconvenient, in most cases have to be left out front of a property, ruining the look of the neighbourhood.
Susan Daly in Sandwell says wheelie bins are a good idea, but where are you meant to put them? She says it's very hilly where she lives and they sometimes roll away.
On the other hand, Sally Beardsley from Small Heath in Birmingham said, I think they're very much needed. Please hurry and give us our wheelie bins.
Final word to Richard Walker. Much tidier than black bags that get left out and rip easily. Thanks very much for all your comments.
Let's talk football. The Kidderminster